was a sad scene. In the past, when you are traveling from Dungawanofin even to Asimfosu, a terrible situation. And from Praso to New Adubiase to my big brother's hometown Bekwai to Kumasi, it was another thing. I can go on and on and on. And as for Donkokrom, it was a daily thing. My village. We've worked together as a team at all levels of command and across all the security agencies to normalize the situation. Equally, the crimes that were happening, residential robberies in all our cities, we've stemmed the tide in a committed way. It is just one. Honorable Chair, with the support of the Police Council, with discussions, and with the approval of His Excellency the President, we have created 7 more new police regions to bring policing closer to the people of this country. Because our assessment when we came to office, we saw that policing across the country was very minimal, roughly about 47 or thereabout %. But with instructions from Mr. President, we've been able to deepen policing in a manner that has never happened before. And that dovetails into the concept of visibility, where we've demonstrated the presence of policing at all corners of the country through the establishment of 144 regional FPU bases across the country. Currently, the establishment, we've been able to roll out 121 of them. And this comes with an average of 35 officers, number of motorbikes, a vehicle, to ensure that they are engaging the communities, they are patrolling the highways, and then they are patrolling the communities so that they will have their peace of mind to live their life. Honorable Chair, I can go on and on and on. When we came, we have established Police Emergency Medical Intervention Fund with the approval of Mr. President, where 6.1 million cedis is in there to ensure that every police officer who gets injured in the course of duty can be sent to everywhere in the world to give treatment to the person in order to come on board. Honorable Chair, in the process, as we have seen, with our quest to engage the communities and win their hearts and minds, gone across the country with my team, analyze and identify and analyze all their concerns, working on putting measures in place through special groups in order to ensure that they work and keep them safe. Honorable Chair, we have also worked on the issue of decentralizing so many things that were centralized at the headquarters. The welfare department, counseling department, intelligence unit, processing of certain things, including criminal checks. So we are on the quest of ensuring that at the end of the day, we leave the organization better than we come to find it. So all these interventions, almost about 45 or thereabout of them, and putting it together, working with the other security agencies, that is what has brought us far in terms of the type of internal security that we enjoy. So would anybody coming to say that you are the West IGP, it's unfounded, it's unfortunate, and I think the best the person could have done, if he has nothing to say, is probably keep quiet and allow the good people of this country to make a determination on us. And Honorable Chair, the final point on this matter is that it is not about Dampare, it's about the police administration. It is not about Dampare, it's about the police administration. The police is not a sole proprietorship. It is an institution with governance and management structures. Dampare is just one of the officers involved in the governance and the management structure. So that is what it is. And we work in concept and make sure that all decisions that we need to take, we take it as a group, and when it needs to the attention of the police council, we get that as well. But the interesting point is this: as my colleagues will bear us out, or will bear me out, all these decisions, where it matters, we even send it to the the regions, the districts, the divisions, and the stations for them to hold meetings and get their inputs involved. And that's the level of teamwork that we brought to bear on the work that we do. So it isn't about Dampare. It is about an institution that we have decided to work together, because nobody put a rope on our neck to join the service. And at the end of the day, the service doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to any individual. But once we are there to earn our daily bread in service of the people, we have to find a way of working together. And that is what I have done since I came. And my colleagues are the best witnesses for that. I thank you.
IGP, so let me place on record that the police service is not on trial here. And so, like counsel pointed out much earlier, we have some terms of reference that guides us in, the conduct of this exercise. Now, you spoke at length about we in the collective. It's not about Dampare, it's about the police administration. So you believe in teamwork. Is that correct, sir?
Honorable Chair, that is more than correct.
Now, the witnesses before you have told this committee that under your watch, the Police Management Board, also known as POMAB, has become dysfunctional. Dysfunctional in the sense that it has become a one-man show. In other words, the IGP does not consult members of POMAB for purposes of reporting to the council. Please, sir, what's your reaction to this?
Honorable Chair, that is falsehood. And like I have demonstrated to you, and you also refer from my speech, and look at it, you called me, and only me, to appear. All of them, including some of them who were on sick leave, said, what is happening? I'll suspend my sick leave and come. Because since you assumed office, you've told us that we are a chain, and the time we break, anytime it breaks, is because somebody is retiring. We took that part out and connect the chain again. So if anybody sits anywhere to say that you don't consult, then that person is trying to be so mischievous to the level that he doesn't wish the organization well and doesn't wish the country well. This is the point. Every meeting, every major issue,
Inspector General of Police.
yes,
One dimension of this interrogation which we inform our recommendations is about matters concerning the setup that you had. So please, you interrogate these matters critically in camera. So if you can veer off all the challenges of the service, the people who protect us should not air their challenges, because people should build confidence in the setup. So I'll crave your kind indulgence that in some of these areas of police and what you might be going through and unity and disunity will be better addressed in camera. Yes.
Honorable Chair, I am answering a question about what is out there in the public. The person is saying that I don't do what I'm supposed to do with the team.
Yes.
And I'm answering to it, and the witnesses to the question is out here, is in here with us. And I need to speak to it so that the public, which has been misinformed, is re-informed with the truth.
You've done that sufficiently.
And I have to end it and nail it. Honorable Chair,
yes,
I have to end it and nail it. Other than that, at the end of the day, if there is snake you are killing, as our forefathers have told us, you must make sure that it is really dead.
Cut the head.
So the head needs to be cut off. So permit me to complete the cutting off of the head. Thank you.
A lot of cutting off of the head will be done in camera.
Honorable Chair, I'm cutting off the head that is in public. So, the point is simple. It is a lie, and it should not be tolerated. Because my colleagues are here. They know, and I'm saying three things, and I'll end on that. That every time there is any issue anywhere across the country that is of national importance, beyond the normal meetings we have all the time, at times thrice in a week, with some of them saying that, George, is too much because at times we just enter the office and you call us again on a matter. Beyond that, every single one, we have meetings on them. And all the minutes are there. And beyond that, we have the meetings, even including odd hours, in the night, and at times Saturdays, Sundays, because the matters of policing, the matters of security are risen, and we can't wait, because if you wait, the situation will get out of hand. And this is what we've been doing. And when we go for those meetings, they are here as well. 95 to 96% of the time, I give room for errors because nobody is perfect, and I'm not. I wait for all of them to speak, and they are here. And after that, they call me magnetic mind. I would then summarize all the position of each one of them, itemize them, and at times I ask them, how many should we have? How many itemization do you think I'm going to have based on this meeting that we've had? And some of them, today we are tired, give us only 10. We are tired, give us 15, or go 8 or out. So at times we have the meeting discussions, and it's like, George, are you doing Ghana movie? Are you going to do part 1, 2, and 3 in this summary? That is the way we do things. And honorable thing, the second thing is to do with the fact that we consider ourselves as civil servant, and every servant has a master, and the masters of we, the police officers, are the public, even including a week-year-old child. That if something is happening to that week-year-old child, we go to his aid or her aid, because that old-year child is our master and we are the servant. And because I head the organization, I call myself the chief servant, and my colleagues are here. They know it. And being the chief servant, it means to mean that I'm the least among them, even though I lead them. And this is how I demonstrate them. One, anytime we are moving outside, all of them goes, and I'm the last car to move. When we get to the destination, because of the teamwork spirit that we have, which was also demonstrated here when we arrived, we all alight, line up in succession, in command position, and we greet each other, and then we walk to where we're supposed to go to. When we get there, still being the chief servant, I wait to ensure, and they are here, that each and every one of them has gotten a chair to sit before all of us decide to sit in unison. And when we finish and go back, what I do, they go ahead of me to make sure that everybody is okay, because I'm the chief servant. And when we arrive back to the office or wherever our return place will be, We do the same, everybody get down, we greet each other. Then we do debriefing to find out what exactly happened and what are the lessons that we can put. And they are here. So it is never true. Those people should stop disrespecting the public because it's just not fair. And the final one, as a chief servant, anytime there is any private family thing associated with any of my commanders, I personally call them, urge them, offer any support that I need to offer, including my own brother. I was there for him 100% when his mother passed on, asking all questions about the development, the movement, about the funeral. And on the day of the funeral, marshal all the commanders at Poma went and sympathized with him. And what I do additionally to build that teamwork to make sure that all belong is the fact that I make sure each one of them, when I address them, something that I call regimental diplomacy, even though I'm the head, I use please, thank you, brother and sister. And this is what has glued us together to be working the way we are working and to be protecting the good people of this country the way we are protecting. So it is a big lie if anybody comes here and make this statement. And that person, I think, need to apologize to the public. I thank you.
Who did you have in mind when you said you helped your brother? Is he one of the witnesses?
I'm talking to my big brother, George. COP, we see, because of the informality that has developed over the years, at times, even in a formal setting, I get it wrong. So it's about my big brother, COP, Alex George Benson.
Okay, so the records will capture that. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so my last preliminary question. You see, IGP, one other thing which has been said about you is that when you policed the Assin-North by-election, you deployed virtually the entire POMAB membership, and so names like COP Ohunu, COP Awini, etc., were mentioned. And the conclusion drawn is that those deployments were inimical to the electoral fortunes of the MPP in the Assin-North by-election. Sir, what is your reaction to this in terms of deployments? I mean, it's something that you may, in your estimation, you are the IGP, if you think that if you share with us, it might compromise, you know what I'm talking about. You can decline to answer and then do that when we go in camera. But what is your reaction to this?
Honorable Chair, my answer will have no security implications. It's a very simple thing, and I've said it time with that number. So my views and the views of my team and the commanders across the country are out there in the public already. But let me record it by way of summary. The first point is this. When my colleagues and I took over, we realized that anytime there's election, we were too late to operationalize our security arrangement and go about setting of National Election Security Task Force and all that, so close to the election. So there are always issues. So we committed ourselves to mainstreaming election security in all our police operations. So the first thing we did was to establish what we call Police Election Security Secretariat, to be involved and streamline election security across the police, so that when one election ends, the policing of the next election begins immediately. So this has been the template that my colleagues and I have been using in handling all subsequent elections since I assumed office. And we've done that for the internal elections of all the political parties, and we have also used the same blueprint to handle all by-elections. But this is the fundamental point. In the past, realize that all by-elections, from Talensi through Chereponi to Atiwa to Ayawaso and other places, normally do turn violence. So we decided as a team to interrogate the issue and find out what is causing it. And realized that we're making a mistake from the security point of view. Because when the political parties are treating that by-election as a national election in a single constituency, we were treating it as a local election and then relaxing on the security and leaving it in the hands of the local policing authority. Whilst we have everybody in Ghana at that location taking playing one part or the other in that elections. So we resolved that if the political parties and the other stakeholders involved in these by-elections, if they decide to play it local, we, the police, will play it local. If they decide to play district, we, the police, will play district. Then it means that it's a fair match. If they decide to play it regional, we, the police, will play regional. But if they decide to consider the election as a national one, then we, the policing too, will be national. And I know this is also not tenable. And on the lighter side, if they decide to play it international, we also will do it international. So it is that inform the deployment, because the whole Ghana is at that constituency. So the whole police must also be at that constituency. And that is what has helped us. That's all the by-elections that has been done using this model has not resulted in any violence. And that's why I want to end it. I thank you, Honorable Chair.
Chairman, I yield for now.
Okay.
Yes.
Honorable Yabuama, if you can commence your interrogations.
Chairman, I believe these are preliminary matters.
Yes.
Not going into...
No, not going into serious adduction of evidence here. Yeah.
Very well. Yes, sir. IGP. You know Chief Bugri Nabu personally?
Honorable Chair, I know Chief Bugri Nabu, and my knowledge of him is like the knowledge that I have for most people that I come across, and like the knowledge I have for virtually everybody at the committee level, and also so many Ghanaians out there. Thank you.
Does he visit your office?
Honorable Chair, it's not that I'm aware.
When some of the witnesses
Inspector General of Police, when he asked you this question, that does he visit your office, you said not that you are aware of. Is there any recording that, for instance, Atachia came to the IGP's office, and even if when we are not there, somebody will tell you that in your absence, so and so came to your office?
Honorable Chair, I have my ADC who let me know if anybody is in my office. But the aspect of recording and everything is done at the reception area.
If somebody came to where you are as the IGP, you'll be informed that Atachian was here.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
So I think the question demanded a yes or no answer. But when you say not that you are aware of, then you leave the issue at large.
Honorable Chair, if that is the understanding, then I'm sorry.
Yes,
I
please.
don't. The answer, not that I'm aware, simply means that he has not visited me.
Yes, please. Thank you for the clarification here.
Yeah, Chairman. So Chief Bugri Nabu does not have any commercial dealings with the police administration. That's it.
That is correct. And for that, I want to respond to the fact that it's one of the falsehoods that have been put out in the public domain. He has no dealings, and I hear some contract, nothing. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Some of the allegations made to the committee was with regards to promotions. Chairman, I'm sure I'm permitted to be, and I'm within the confines of, I don't want to exceed, that some officers are due promotions, especially those at your level. I know some have to go to the police council for recommendations and approval. What is the situation with regards to promotions? Are there any hold-ups with regards to promotion of certain junior officers within the service?
Honorable Chair, there is no hold-up of promotion of any junior officer in the whole police service. Even as we speak, the structure has been that any junior officer who is 4 years are sent to training and they are promoted. And we are waiting to have all of them promoted. Those who are due, the next set of junior officers who are due for promotion, who are now, we have worked on in trying to rebuild their capacity, send them to Achirematin in the eastern region to reshape and recalibrate them, are currently there, and we are rolling out these and making sure that they are promoted in December. And we've arranged it in such a way that it becomes like something like a Christmas stuff. So nobody in the service, the junior rank that you are saying, whose promotion is being withheld. So that is another set of concocted story that is being put out there for mischievous reasons.
What about those senior officers whose promotions have to be sent from management to council?
Honorable Chair, every one of them, with the exception of a few, have been sent. And the few who have been sent, and the few who are there, is based on the fact that beyond the number of years that you have been in the position, there is other factors. And I'm told a few is about 7 or 8 or 9 other factors that come into it. And those other factors include competence, include vacancy, include integrity, including all other factors. And when this, beyond that, it becomes the preserve of the police council, and from that level, who make recommendations to His Excellency Mr. President, and for that to be effected. So as it stands, everybody who's supposed to be promoted based on the junior rank has been done. Everybody who's supposed to be promoted based on the senior rank has been done. And that is where we are. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
So the grumbling officers, senior officers, says promotion, that has not taken effect. It's not from POMAC, but from the Police Council.
Your Excellency, Honorable Chair, that is the position because they are the people to promote. And more importantly, recently a meeting was held and some consideration has been done. But the most important thing is that everybody who's supposed to be promoted in line with our policies are being promoted. But the point that has to be made is that it's not a question about how many years we have been at the place. We will have all loved to be promoted as soon as we have 4 years and thereabout. Vacancy, competencies, and other things factor into it. I myself, at a point, I was on my rank for 6 years, and I didn't complain because I understand.
Is that a practice that you can be at your rank for 6 years? Because we have your promotions here, and that I can tell the committee that between 97 and 2003, that's about 6 years, you're also a subtenant. But it's also on record that from ASP in 1996 to DSP, I don't have the date here, but to superintendent was just about 2 years or less than that.
Honorable Chair, in my introductory remark, I did alluded to that, and I did say that that promotion was based on my academic qualifications in line with existing policies at that time.
Yes, I understand. We have a fair idea that once you chartered as an accountant, you were jumped from one position to superintendent of police. Is that policy still in place? Are those who have, for those who have upgraded themselves academically?
Honorable Chair, that policy, as far as I'm concerned, with the passage of Constitutional Instrument CI 76 2012, that policy, from my reading of that CI 76 2012, is no more in operation.
We determine the seriousness of that, Mr. Annan. We were also told that some junior officers have been jumped or triple jumped by your good self without having gone through the merits, and it became an issue for us to interrogate. Can you speak to that, please?
Honorable Chair, the important thing is that these promotions, which is in line with our regulations in terms of special recommendation, nobody has been jumped 3 times. But the most important thing is this: these are matters that are discussed by Police Council and approved. So if a decision on that matter has been welcomed by the Police Council, I think it will be difficult for me to speak to it.
Do you have a unit called the inspection unit?
Yes, Honorable Chair, we do.
What is their duty? What are their duties or functions?
Honorable Chair, broadly I can say that the document establishing them, I don't have it readily here, but as the name sound, they are out there to ensure that they do inspection of police facilities, police records, and they make recommendations.
And there are 16 officers in one office, we are told. We're informed that in that small office, you have about 16 officers instead of 4 occupying that office.
Honorable
Is that
Chair,
the case?
the point is this: the word instead of 4. I don't know where it is coming from. We have a unit, and a unit of 4 people, then I don't know what it is. There's no limit as to the number of people who will be there to do inspections across the country. And the other point of being in one office, I have to check, because the unit has a commander who is a deputy commissioner of police. And you agree with me that it will be a difficulty for Inspector General of Police to be going around looking for offices for people who are supposed to know where to look for an office for their work. And if the challenge is not beyond them, or if the challenge then go beyond them, then drawing to the attention of the relevant commissioner and the schedule and handle. So now that you've brought to my attention, I'll go and look at it. If the commander there has not been able to look at it, I'll go and look at it, and in my usual self, work with my colleagues and see what that issue is.
There seem to be a lot of units under your administration. Inspection unit, visibility, and recently we heard of the special Dampare unit. Do you have any special Dampare unit for purposes of special operations who are untouchable, who don't report to anybody and to the Inspector General of Police? And we are told some of them have beard, some wear earrings, and not properly attired, and a lot more. Is there any unit within the service like that?
Honorable Chair, first of all, there is no unit called Special Dampare Unit. It's a figment of people's imagination. And I think the point must be made. The second point is that there is a police intelligence directorate which complements police operations. And what has happened in the past is that we were having challenges when it comes to these operations, and we needed to top up with our intelligence, and the intelligence were at only the national level. So my colleagues and I, once again, worked together, and we decided to decentralize that unit such that each of the 25 policing commands will have their own intelligence unit that shape intelligence gathering to inform the operations of the region. So all those units are under the various regional commanders, and then they also work in tandem with the National Director General in charge of intelligence. They don't report to me. Thank you.
Not to personalize matters. You want to come in? Okay.
Oh, Aji. The concluding part of your response is where I want to, proceed from. You said they don't report to you. Now, part of the allegations against you is that that unit in question reports only to you. They don't take instructions from your commanders. I think that was part of the testimony before the committee when previous witnesses appeared. So, sir, what's your reaction to that?
Honorable Chair, like I said, they are a unit that has been institutionalized with the commanders and a chain of command up to the national level, with a Director General in charge. But when you go to the regions, it's like CID, which will work with the regional commander as one of his subordinates, and when it comes to criminal investigations, and yet they also work in tandem with the Director General CID. This is the same framework that has been used for the establishment and decentralization of the intelligence component of the police service. In the past, it's like intelligence were things that we needed to keep improving as an institution and also work across other security agencies and the intelligence component, and to make sure that this country continue to be at peace with itself. So the units are institutionalized. The units are with the regional commanders, and at the national level, they have a director general who is in charge of them, and who from time to time give us a briefing on our daily meetings, on our weekly meetings, and when we also have emergency meetings on matters of concern, and we get it done. There is nothing like anybody or a group of people out of the normal chain of command reporting to Dampare on anything. It is a lie.
IG, what is the administration, your administration's relationship with the military high command? We were given an impression that all wasn't well with the police administration and the military high command.
Honorable Chair, this is another lie just to paint you black, or typically calling a dog a bag neck and hanging. We have an excellent relationship with all the heads of the security agencies. And it's so excellent that at the end of the day, the cordiality goes beyond official work. The beauty of it is this. Constitutionally, each and every of the agencies has their role to play. And we know where we also need to work together in what I term institutional teamwork and get things done for this country. So we urge these people to stop trying to put our heads against each other. It's shameful. It's not good for this country. And you cannot do this. You should stop it. They can use any other thing to get anything that they want, but they shouldn't use that. They should be patriotic. Because that's the only place we have called home, Ghana. So in their quest to achieve their selfish interest, they shouldn't create confusion. So Honorable Chair, that is what it is. And I know that's how it sits. We'll continue to work together as various security agencies, helping each other in the interest of the country, for Ghana, our beloved country, to continue to be at peace with itself. I thank you.
I can see that your lawyer is nodding. I don't know what this is intended for. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, when he said Ghana, our beloved country, I remembered the conclusion from Kwame Nkrumah, it's free forever.
Thank you. IG, you once served as the ADC to former President Mills, and COP Mensah also once served as the ADC to Vice President Akkar. Would you want to comment on that role, especially when some of the witnesses, or from our information, try to use that as a weapon against your office, in my humble view?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I'm happy you spoke to that fact. And I want to take this opportunity to urge all my colleagues in all the non-partisan institutions to keep the sanctity of that institution and stop trying to impute politics into it in a manner that will compromise its responsibility, and especially in my case, the police service in the maintenance of law and order. And I'm happy you did mention the fact that my big brother, George, served as an ADC during President Rawlings and Vice President Akkar's time. Before him was another big brother of mine, the former Inspector General of Police, Mr. David Asante Apietu, who also served as the ADC during President Lawrence and Vice President Akar's regime. Then after that, ASP, I have to get the name correct, another ASP served as the ADC during President Rawlings and Vice President Akar's and Vice President Mills' time. Then in the course of his tenure, I was also called upon to go and serve as an ADC to His Excellency, the Vice President, Professor Mills. And I was there for a year and about 6 or 7 months. And I was asked to be replaced because I had become a chartered accountant and I was going to be promoted to the rank of subtenant based on my academic qualification. So I cannot continue to serve as an ADC. So I was replaced by, that time, I'm not sure whether he was an ASP or DSP, and may his soul rest in peace, another brother of mine, Frank Kofi. So from there, all the other regimes, we have had police officers by our arrangement serving as ADC to Vice President. And you will be there, you will be called, it's a call to duty, you can't stop it. But beyond that, after serving as an ADC to Professor Mills, which was somewhere, I need to call it 2007 and 2008, thereabout, and I stand to be corrected on that. Came back to be the deputy auditor, went to UN mission, returned from the UN mission, went for further studies, returned from further studies, and came to serve as Special Assistant to Honorable Dampare when he was the Minister for the Interior. When my father, Honorable Dampare, was moved to Ministry of Defense, another father of mine, Honorable Kwamna Batos, came in to serve as the minister, and he maintained me as a special assistant. And thereafter, in the course of the 2007 floods, I was there in the office, and Honorable Kwamna Batos said, His Excellency President Kufuor wants to see you. I went, I was ushered in to the office of Dr. Mrs. Chinehese, now the Chancellor of University of Ghana. And the idea was that the President Kufuor has found it fit to appoint me as the national coordinator for the management of the disaster. And that is how I have served Ghana outside my policing career. I thank you.
Behind you are members of POMAC, I'm sure. Members of POMAC are seated behind you. I believe so.
Yes, sir.
So that notion of you running a one-man show, because we're told that you are running a one-man show, it's all about Dampare. Dampare. You are not involving POMAC. And it's very, very important for us to hear from you on this, especially when it's a creation of the institution by your legislation. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, I think I addressed this question area, but I'll re-echo the fundamental points. Unfortunately, they are not on oath, so that they cannot testify on this matter. If they had been on oath, we would have heard them, what they will say. They call it United POMAP. United POMAP. That's what they call it. And it's a chain. Nobody breaks it. Unless you are going to a retirement, we take you out, and they will reconnect the chain. And I said, we can't go anywhere without making sure that they are ahead of me. We can't arrive at any destination without making sure that we account for everybody. We cannot go and sit at anywhere without making sure that everybody has a chair. And we cannot start any meeting without making sure that where is everyone? And if the person is not on leave, the person is not doing any other assignment, we'll make sure that we even wait for the person. So this whole idea, like I said, is trying to put certain things together to paint you black and make sure that you don't look presentable in the eyes of everybody. It is never true. And I said it fundamentally. The Lord that I serve, the God Almighty that shapes my life, He instituted teamwork. And I get incomplete when I'm not functioning in a team. Because I'm not sure whether what I'm putting out there, if I've had a second thought, it will be better. In any case, I have one philosophical belief. It takes other human beings for other human beings to be human beings. So in the absence of other human beings, I feel incomplete. And knowing that it's an institution and not a sole proprietorship, and even a sole proprietorship, you still have to work with people. An institution that does not belong to me, I come and monopolize it. Then I'm not a good leader. Then I'm not a manager. And they know within their hearts of hearts that they were paddling for, so in order to package it and send it to places and make me look bad, thinking that as it has normally been done in our environment, when people go and lie about you and say all things about you, you never get opportunity to speak to the matter. It is a lie. It isn't about Dampare. It's about the police service. It's about Ghana. And it's about the peace and security of this country. I thank you.
So it's good we are giving you the opportunity to speak in public, in the presence of the witnesses who made those allegations. And my last question, Chairman, what led to that letter interdicting the two officers, which was subsequently withdrawn? Thank you very much, Chairman, for the opportunity.
Honorable Chair, I thank you very much. And that is also another thing people have used in trying to get to me. The truth of the matter is this. When all these things happen, whilst we are focused on ensuring that we work together as a team across the country and also across all the other security agencies to continue to maintain peace and security for our beloved country, then you get to a point and these things happen. And you feel pain that your own brothers can go and do this against you. But you forgive because such is nature. And the more you forgive, the more you become stronger and preserve your health. So I moved on. But I said that whatever is going on, I recuse myself from the process. So I was not part of whatever decision that was taken to interdict or de-interdict anyone. It is a matter that was considered at the police council, and they handled it in my absence. And anytime any issue about this particular incident is discussed anywhere within the police leadership, they feel my absence, because I think and I believe that is the right thing to do. And that is what happened. I am not involved in interdiction and the interdiction of anyone. I thank you.
Yes, I can observe that Siopi Mensah, the lawyer you brought, he's not said one word, but he's been drinking a lot of water, you know. My colleague, I've been observing you are drinking water. What's the matter? And even as a chairman, you see my water, I have not drank any water.
Mr. Chairman, you said you will not talk. So I was drinking the water, waiting for the lunch.
Well, I think it's very opportune to give the only female on the committee, an opportunity to, interrogate the matters with IGP mounting the witness stand.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chair, I think most of my questions has been exhausted by Honorable Patrick Boama, but I have one or two for my big brother and my boss as well.
Okay. Thank you, Mom. You have only two questions. The younger man who is the vice chairman, is telling me that for health considerations, we should take about maybe 5 minutes break so that people can stretch their legs, and those who want to use the washroom will do so. So, because of common humanity, I'm compelled to have the proceedings suspended for maybe 7 minutes. If you want to use the washroom, do so. If you want to stretch your legs a bit, and then we'll come back.
You see, people have stepped out.
Yes. Yeah, you could see that some of your officers have stepped out, which means it's right for once, you know.
Oh, you cannot prophesy that.
Ezekiel chapter 47 verse 12 say, Yendi ediabano na yemfa na hahan ne nsa yare enu nti na Kumasi online TV yedi program wonwaso bi a yato ne din se ahabandro ebremu se wo ye herbal doctor herbal clinic ana wunim se ne yedi aban esa yare akwanya na ba beda ho de amamo Kumasi online TV ye bia tumu edi ama obi biara hwehwe ye chi akwan na bra na woni ye mbetwetwe nkomo na ye ma wakwanya no na be kire amanfo yare ahoduro a aban ebetimi asa ye ne chi akwan ye yira akwan kra obehu ye no aska ye ne TI amas ene di nhwenim obetimi so afra ye no 0550 623377. Health is not valued until sickness come in. Yemududu na etoda ya na yapomudino. Yema yeni enko honum sa kosise yawie bi bebo yen na yebeye mransana yebeye ya adwun se yechi akwa akope anu aduro. Mame mo bibiara akwa abashonko emfambra Kumasi online TV ene Tik TV mra eduru su ye mra bi a yahyehede esi honum se sene wapomudin wo se wutumi epe yare a adawo so cheno pepo mesibre edema sa yare no samre no na eduru so ende mensa aka odokita fukuo ewo menchen na ene yebetwetwe nkomo ende yebesua de ende yebedi nkomo bebre enti mehre se yare biara edawo so a wunya no aduro no mehre se obecho comment section na se anasa wo de be send no ewo WhatsApp ne number na eda kasafoni no wonso wo question bia wonso be se ubisa doctor efa enne nkomo a yeba betwetwe nwa eno so mehre se wo de be send no na me kanfo no so edi ama enne dey etsan se ni nuro ni bi wo hono ma eye nuro bi a wo ye be ma no we japade ni ntumi mu adwuma ye ya yesi ba ku bi efe no fokuo mens eno no wonum a bra mint na handwo menum metumi aka cho se sene wo besi fa apem no wo hwe sene besi fa ka sene wo besi fa apem no e wo se wankasa wo ti ase ene mi a metina dwumadi mu e de aba ba som e de amete so ane na ya ase wa ka me ho na yenko Dr. Foucault ne ma na kwa ba shonko enfambra Tik TV doc Bibi aboko de.
Ba de ti ase o de mato haban mu de me ho odin ye pa.
Ye de Nyankopon ase na Foko Herbal Clinic ho so te say.
Yesu nti nkunimdie nko an ekọ ho. A Nyankopon afa ne tumi so haban o de amaye so. Ama dodo na o mo ba ye ho de o motu mu wa hyeda e wo yade ensem.
Ye de Nyankopon ase dog me da se me to me nsanso e fra wi ne nso watumi eja wadwuma ho aba be ka me ho ache se ye dwen ye metiefo no mahwefo o mapomudin ho dog and then no me be se wodi ye wremu e ba no embema no eja pade ntimi mu adwuma ho ne de aya na hu hia me ye pa san se emema dodo na ema won no won wo ho no respect bia enim oh nti na me be se wodi yen ewremu e wo honum na de bia wo be se wo de kan so de kan ho e ma yen
me da se otomrusi sene ya waka no ye ma ahwefo nyina o take TV ha no akwaba sene ofre ya yetu anamo aba won se edwuma de ayedi no nipa bia o tiase wasase yesu de ne ho hia ye
yes
de bia Dr. Foko me kan se wo tiase na o yemenua
yeah
timobi a betima ya mo atenase a bra wo tiase na wo se me ye boawo enya bra sabi wowu enu nti na de me ye bia no wo se adofo bi nso wo ba bia se ma mfa kwa we se susu a wo hunu amane a wonya anu yie tinyakopon so me tumi ayede ye haban ho adwuma ba ne bo nipadua de a adanti na bia nyankopon adom nipa ma wo bia no yenso ye hwɛ se ye benya akonya wo ho ne ne wo mo ebedi nkomo na obi a na ba mo bu na kre nda so nyina asanka o twen se nke wo mpo befa no how bi ato nti no o free sa ha no on se se do kan mama bebre no eti ase na anko nti ase a wo pe fi se wo ye be ma so wo nye be ma
yes
ontimi ne yiri nsia na se ne ho kani eti ko ba no sa eja na dwendwene ka on kokora no ko no modrawu bebre kura tu sa na mo no a na enso nyame anuonyam enti Dr. Foko se mema o mu tie ya na so mu da so tie ase de so wonya ti Dr. Foko nkanko ade a na watu hire gu afuru so ade ntrafi se nyankopon ammo nipa bia se oba asase so na ha obi ba ontimi nya solution gise wonim na kwan wonim dia ha no ba ebe ye dia ma enu ntina nyankopon aye nipa hodo gu asase so a Dr. Foko de oyeye ba se enu ahodo odi gu asase we so no eye nipa part it is a part bi sei na ntimi mfanhye a ye mbefa duakoro no en repair part no na nsa anye adwuma sire nyankopon sei ntimi ma nyina mo mbo ntom yem na omo hwe Dr. Foko de awurade adom anije kese we ba fie bra ye nkomo ye chi oni mi bedi nkomo e wo me WhatsApp number no so wono wo outside ne de number obetimi ni medi nkomo obesimi akasa so eye WhatsApp obeso otwa ne how no condition kura kire me anase opese o chechire mu anase wo kasa wo ebia wo de say WhatsApp on mo a number no obetimi afa no anase obetimi di djuma no wo so no eye 055
055
00
00
234
I think say no kwa na da kasa for ni ni
sorry 055 00 234 19 sa no body ofra ebesimi ankasa so san WhatsApp na fe nkomo bia wachiri no yedi edi ato aso
okay ene dog yen sembre no fa ye remu na
da se pa enti se na medi kan no medie wona oba me nche nyina no ni anyakopon nam ye so a abo mo manyo fa hodi afiri yare ensem no matu mu wa hyeda no eye nua se de mekan ye ene haban na se de wo hwe ade bia dro we de ba bia megina bia no we na medi kan maso anam di kan ho asem
I Foko
men's herbal powder. The Etamaka we want somebody say, me a bema. Tibema bia question anymore. Which na member in our name. Nansa memani din kugorodo. A basana ya can member in a TM Pesa member but was wedding kugu. And your draw say, a powdered from a Yakopodum, a new hini, a whole do I made the mayen, and as a was as you so. Tibema be over suicide, a dear will be another Dr. Foko, powder will say, you know. Ne mema samna cofomono. And found one condition crow in ya, a man member some call from. Also, member, I was so would be said. So binya diabetes, a yes, such area, ne member some call from. Obinya pressure, ne member some call from. Obinya prostate, ne member some call from. And I said, no, me a day gonorrhea, and I syphilis. Sanima when you see what Bema keep a dreamer, and my Bema suno a call from. Ah, intimate sorry, and I sent me near to said, I was saying, we call morning or baby didn't come around, none was an. Eti kobana sa e ade so akese eti sa duro se wonya wisu a e boa ma sa condition wonya ni nyina no e ba normal wi a afi be ma na dwuma wo sa ye no eni obere be ka ye so onsore nye ono abaye na afi ediani ti abafie na papa no anase be ma na nkasa no nani age na afi yire a oka ho wo fie no edi asumdwe so ayeden abafie eti Foko men's herbal powder we no e ye natural enye capsules a powdered form na de yusuo no yetimi de kubansuo nom yetimi de ankansuo nom anase warm water fi se me bibia natural etimo na wuguso aduro we no esiesie condition kura wanya de sa ha ne brew etobi biara wo pressure wo sichire anase wanya prostate obitimi dwonso tentem eba sanya na o mema sem no ekofom ena no danche obu on ma syphilis ya wanya ntinu be se ni mema sem kofom no na ho odene no eye ketua bi no afi na ne kese nso no esehi na ne bema no so tia na eti owisu aduro ya ekum infection anase moa na esama bema no pagya ne ho eti se wodua de se wodua bibi na emoa baase a se de wose nyini no obezentimi nyini na omne emoa maase no obeside bia na nyini from kama se ne padua tie ti se emoa foforo bia nyede nyankopon boma ne padua yi eba wakwa ne ba bia oha wose nke nyini no entimi nyini na ho odin so wose ye adwuma no na ne so lusu na firi ho no mo na so nya fokwe mes pada ya ekum sa yare moa no ebe nyini anya ne kese tu ahodire wom ani adwuma wose ye no ebe san so aye tiribia meka se bema bia wo hwe me obema nya stroke no ma bonta oyem unya fokwe mes ba pada ya ye be kire kwa fa so wo be wiso be treat sa bema na wanya stroke on de onko adwuma no wada no de ntwuma twene ho da bi bema de onye sa also osoro kwa adwuma no de ne panso ye dai eba fie tinyankopon adomo de sa duru ya che Dr. Fokua wona wote menka ana no wura bi efrem wo Canada wo doctor enura na mato ne be man still here nahi esore ya na wasanso agi agu enura hodo wo fabrofo duro wo agi enura hodo enso ne mfa wo doctor capsules ahodo ama no seja medro de enye se wo nom ne oba de akoda na ebe treat how na aba no tiafi wo kan condition wo pressure wo prostate and ono ana ne sugar so no esanso e wo soro tie kuma na nuro ni bi na wo wisu nuro na wo twemienu no anopa bia wura na freme oda sori as doctor ubu ni nyamisraw chese aniji a wose aba fie no ne ho adwu no na wo twemienu pe mpo no wisu yo na so meka che ne se me treat ni be se 2 months na so wo twa na wo twemienu pe no ense sai a wo hu ani adwuma ekoso wo fie no ne ho adwu no obisa se adan maduro no eye magician na enye magic ne mo meka ne da se edua bia wo de nyankopon bomaye but wan huna wan hwa beka se wo ha no eni akade secret no wan hunu wo ha no anu adura wo beka se eni aduru nanso hunu obahu se sa ha no enye ha obia eti wona wo hwe me a titru mema na wanya sa nyare wa hodo wei na waye mbre no omo mbonto oyem mi wonura hodo a ebia obi hia bia mi dika bisa no condition kura wanya enti wo kan problem no ene san ya wonya woni paduam obu akwa no akwa lab na wa confirm ya de kro ti wonya ka kire mi wi a ansana mi de duro be ma no mi wonura hodo a mesan be ka ho a ebe treat problem na ba no ama wo ye free na so ba no duro ya ene tuo na eta kire a wo boss wa na eto no enti obi biara a wo hwe me no ba bia wo bia na awrade adom Dr. Fokua de ye nya yira kwan na woni Ghana mpo a woni haw de nya ne se ye benya information me kire wa address ye nya wa address wi a ba bia wo bia no a chekran 8 days na chese won saka wonro na wasase awisu nro no na ne obaye nyina ne se me number no e na obefre ti wonya frɛ me wi a de asi woni padua no a wo hu se wo hu impa wonya ka sign kora eye woni padua no kire me a entampa me hu de asi na ma hyehyɛ duro no e de abrɛw eti number no ye 055
055
00
00
234
234
19 055
055
00 234
19
branches no Kumasi any headquarters wo eye eboase anwa kwanta kwan no so pachi number 1 e Dr. Fokua mudwumadie ni tim na ne gisem kra ne se kura nyankopon de medua mu ane pachi wa na hwa so na medwumadie me de start ye asikire nyina ne se ye na nanom se eduboni wo ho ne ton no wa wo ye nanam se mi be ye dura ebeboa na aginipa nkwansi wo na obia benya ne fa hodie ntino enam de dwumadie ti sei edua mi krom sire be ya asientuda eti obia ba os a doctor nyamishira wo dupa wo na ma kire ne se ahaya ne bia mi firi pachi number 1 ho na dwumadie ni trishe headquarters okon krama mu am branch mi nu ho La Paz New Market La Paz New Market landmark ado hu mintem no hotel bo e friend kum hotel me wore na ho no mo a na akra branch etos mi no e wo Asaman ntura Asaman da bridge na si paper me wo Kragon NDC Shape House na akwata kwanso a me wo Takwa Tamso Estate brekum ye wo ho no mo drobo ye wo ho Kofodua ye wo ho Tamale ye wo ho ye wo branches ahodo
branches ni de bebre
ti ba bia obusuani wo no eno ane se wo fa number na de mana na Nyankopɔn na wa be kan sa ene gisam ne se wona no ani Ghana ha medi nuro koma won wo hema se se obusuafo wo Ghana ha nyina no obi hu pa na wo se kan tumirika di number we na ko na so no obusuafo no te Ghana ha no a Dr. Fogio wonim kura no won nhyeda nyinni fi se wonim se bi se de ebi no mu ye no sa na ye nyina yete ti de bia me ka se enra so bi ma waduro bi na wo ye de anko a emfa nkova obi biara fi se ye na nan kan se
Amafwe Kumasi Online TV Production yaba ne de na yaba ye de equipment ekukudam ana ye de aba se eye camera de enam wiem de nam fom de enam ensuom ni nyina ye wo bi e wo honom a TV production yabo a hu ye pa se wo ye dwumadie bi ete se wedding eye engagement and sorry ana schools se wo ye seminar bi na pese betwa ko all the social media networks no so e de amaw ye ni ntotonsa na fre eye Kumasi Online TV Production for na yamra na ye dwumadie ne Come, fe a ebo no eda from pa. The production so the sound quality, video quality ni nyina e wo soro. Wo pese wo hu ba bia wa ye wo Kumasi eyetia media opposite one ma. Ana se to nsa ne frɛ wa homa trufo so 0550623377. Kumasi Online TV Production. Ye demu fua e wo Kumasi kodua mu.
Honorable Chair, I know him a little bit when he was the regional chairperson for the MPP in the Northern region. Beyond that, that knowledge made me and him to be talking once in a while. And when I became IGP, he needed help with his area in terms of the number of police strength, like most people come to me to ask, in a vehicle. That is what it is.
Thank you, IG. If that is so, please can you tell this committee whether you've met him one-on-one before? And if that is so, when was the last time you met Chief Bugri Nabu? Thank you.
Honorable Chair, I can say I might have met him one or twice to the best of my recollection. And the last time I met him, if by my rough calculation, to be more than 8 months or thereabout.
Inspector General of Police, your physical contacts may be few. What about your telephone engagements?
The telephone engagement is along the same line as the physical contact.
My Lord. IG, I think what I'm curious about, the whole world is also curious about. From the preamble you built earlier on before you answered your questions, indicates the witnesses were a very good friend to you. At the time of this recording, can you tell this committee the relationship between you and the witnesses? Thank you.
Honorable Chair, the relationship has not changed. It has always been the same. And as you saw when we break, in spite of the fact that I'm the Inspector General of Police, he's my big brother. I went to him and shook his hand, asked him how he's doing, asked him how a person I've always called as a mother is doing, and we have a very quick chat. That is what it is. And in the same vein, even my junior brothers, who I expected them to come to me, I have to walk to them. And also to tell them that it has been a while. And we have a chat. And my own kid brother wants to hug me, and I allow him to hug me. So that is how deep and how human-centered I am. because it takes other human beings for me to be a complete human being.
Thank you. IG, I know you have a script, and Chief Bugri Nabu told this committee he did the recording all by himself. He went to the extent of telling the committee where he purchased the gadgets for the recording. I therefore want to find out, how do you feel when your colleagues accuse you of masterminding the recordings and to the extent of doctoring the recordings? The tape, sorry.
Honorable Chair, as a human being, like all of us, when your own brothers have done what they did, and instead of owning up and taking responsibility and probably apologizing for us to move on, they tried to cook baseless allegation and level it and smear it against you. And without a shred of evidence, as I said earlier on, you have been asked to speak to it. I would definitely feel bad. But who am I? There's nothing I can do about it. And if I feel bad, it's to some extent, but as a Christian that I am, forgiveness is a medicine. And that is what I've just eaten. I've drunk. By going to my brothers and just letting them know that, as far as I'm concerned, whatever they have done is not an issue to me, because the Lord that I serve keep comforting me in a manner that is beyond my comprehension. So I feel no
Amafwe Kumasi online TV production yaba ne de ne yaba ye de equipment ekukudam ana ye de aba se eye camera de enam wiem de nam fom de nam ensuom ni nyina ye wo bi e wo honom a TV production yabo a hu ye pa se wo ye dwumadie bi ete se wedding eye engagement and sorry ana schools se wo ye seminar bi na pese betwa ko all the social media networks no so e de amaw ye ni ntotonsa na fre eye Kumasi online TV production for na yamra na ye dwumadie ne Come fe a ebo no eda from pa the production so the sound quality video quality ni nyina e wo soro wo pese wo hu ba bia wa ye wo Kumasi eyetia media opposite one ma anase to nsa ne frɛ wa homa trufo so 0550623377 Kumasi online TV production ye demu fua e wo Kumasi kodua mu.
Council. Oh, you want to overrule me? Yes, because I was thinking that IG will hold his horses, and then what is going to happen is that when we recline and retire, and the evidence is being unearthed in camera, and then he will determine whether, in the face of what some people will say or will not say, that large heart of forgiveness will continue to work or not.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Honorable Chairman. I don't want to be the one that always will raise an objection. But as humorous as we want to be, Mr. Chairman, these are your last remarks about the quantum of the missiles that are waiting my client. It's somehow prejudicial. Mr. Chairman, but the way you presented it, that if it's like when somebody says unim the free throw bank, watch it at the that's the way I see it.
No, sir. In fact, I cannot predict what any of these individuals will say. I don't know it. It's a fact. That's why I keep telling you that we members of this committee, we don't have malice aforethought. So I wouldn't know.
Honorable Chairman.
Yes, sir.
So far as I am concerned, at least for now, I have everything that they have against us. And this is captured in the invitation letter. So when we get to the other bridge, we will cross it.
So you want to now agree with me that the forgiveness level of the IG has come too early? You should repent from dead works.
Jesus said 77 times 7. So we have not exhausted the scope.
Okay.
We are still within the limits of Jesus' prescription.
Okay then. So the good lady will continue.
But Honorable Chair, before she continues, I want to make the point that this issue of additional evidence against me and all that, I find it very uncomfortable. And the reason is this. We have all the issues and all the tapes here. And at the end of the day, I have been asked to speak to these issues, and I'm speaking to them. So at any point, if there's any other thing that comes up, wherever they want to be, I will speak to it. But I feel very uncomfortable when statements are made as if there is some hidden thing somewhere that will be thrown at me for me to regret, and therefore I should suspend my forgiveness to them. The second point, Honorable Chair, is as far as I'm concerned, with the clearness of conscience and with my belief in God, I know there is nothing anywhere against me. And if there is anything like that, then those who have put it together, they should think twice. But whatever it is, I stand by my forgiveness to them, and I will not change, because that is what the Lord God that I serve has made me to understand. I thank you.
Yes, I was only poking fun. I didn't intend that under this table there's a bomb that is about to be released against the IGP. And I keep telling my colleague, those who know me, they know me very well. There's nothing hidden. As a matter of fact, we find the way our secretariat is managing affairs are super excellent, because every proceedings
Amafwe Kumasi online TV production yaba ne de ne yaba yede equipment ekukudam ana yede aba se eye camera de enam wiem de nam fom de nam ensuom ni nyina ye wo bi e wo honom a TV production yabo ya huye pa se wo ye dwumadie bi etese wedding eye engagement sorry ana schools se wo ye seminar bi na pese betwa ko all the social media networks no so e de amaw ye ni ntotonsa na fre eye Kumasi online TV production for na yamra na ye dwumadie ne Kama fe a ebo no eda from pa the production so the sound quality video quality ni nyina e wo soro wo pese wo hu ba bia wa ye wo Kumasi eyetia media opposite wono ma ana se to nsa ne frɛ wa homa trufo so 0550623377 Kumasi online TV production ye demu fua e wo Kumasi kodua mu. Amafwe Kumasi online TV production yaba ne de ne yaba yede equipment ekukudam ana yede aba se eye camera de enam wiem de nam fom de nam ensuom ni nyina ye wo bi e wo honom a TV production yabo a hu ye pa se wo ye dwumadie bi etese wedding eye engagement and sorry ana schools se wo ye sem na bi na pese betwa ko all the social media networks and so e de amaw ye into tonsa na fre eye Kumasi online TV production for na yamra na ye dwumadie ne Come, fe a ebo no eda from pa. The production so the sound quality, video quality ni nyina e wo soro. Wo pese wo hu ba bi e wa ye wo Kumasi e yetia media opposite one ma. Ana se to nsa ne frɛ wa homa trufo so 0550623377 Kumasi online TV production. Ye demu fua e wo Kumasi kodua mu.
One of my key brothers on the mines and identity. We need to acknowledge him. He came to just observe proceedings. Leader, you are most welcome.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chairman.
Yes.
I wasn't here when
we started.
But I am very sure that the substance and the reasons why this referral was made by the Speaker has really been stated. I think that at the end of the day, we all believe that we should have a professional police safety and security of the state, with professionals that are dedicated to that job. And I think that is the core of what they do.
Amafwe Kumasi online TV production yaba ne de ne yaba yede equipment ekukudam ana yede aba se eye camera de enam wiem de nam fom de nam ensuom ni nyina ye wo bi e wo honom a TV production yabo a hu ye pa se wo ye dwumadie bi etese wedding eye engagement and sorry ana schools se wo ye sem na bi na pese betwa ko all the social media networks and so e de amaw ye ni ntotonsa na fre eye Kumasi online TV production for na yamra na ye dwumadie ne Come, fe a ebo no eda from pa. The production so the sound quality, video quality ni nyina e wo soro. Wo pese wo hu ba bi e wa ye wo Kumasi e yetia media opposite one ma. Ana se to nsa ne frɛ wa homa trufo so 0550623377 Kumasi online TV production. Ye demu fua e wo Kumasi kodua mu. Amafwe Kumasi online TV production yaba ne de ne yaba yede equipment ekukudam ana yede aba se eye camera de enam wiem de nam fom de nam ensuom ni nyina ye wo bi e wo honom a TV production yabo a hu ye pa se wo ye dwumadie bi etese wedding eye engagement and sorry ana schools se wo ye sem na bi na pese betwa ko all the social media networks and so e de amaw ye ni ntotonsa na fre eye Kumasi
that maybe going forward we should make sure when people make allegations, they should provide at least a shred of evidence before maybe an invitation is made for somebody to come and speak to it. But now, looking at the proceedings and the way I feel, it's like allegations have been made, and then nobody provided a shred of evidence, and the allegations are out there in the public, and the allegations touches on my person, even though it has nothing directly to do with me, especially with all the allegations they are made about the management of the police service, which I do with my team, because without the word we, I can't make any pronouncement when I'm leading an organization. I don't use the word I. Then, I'm being asked to speak to allegations that have not been substantiated with a shred of evidence. Then, after I've answered the allegations, I'm being told that when there is a in-camera meeting, those people who have evidence to now substantiate an allegation. Then why couldn't we have waited for them to provide all those over allegations, even though belated? Evidence, even though belated. For myself and my counsel to look at them And probably those that extend beyond me with my management board, whom I always work in concert with, to look at them, and then we can come and apply them appropriately. But now, allegation unsubstantiated, I'm speaking to it, and my feeling is that that is the bit of it that will be for the public, but the rare game has been put is what they now have again against me. And yet we have also been told that it's not a police service which is on trial here, because we have police institutional structures to deal with anybody who has a complaint, which I know they don't have, except that the shame that have come upon them. They are trying to twist it and divert attention. And we allow them to go on that fishing expedition, acting as octopuses in their quest to find something by whatever means to affect my person and my integrity. Honorable Chair, I think we need to look at this carefully, because that is not fair. Having said that, I don't have anything. I don't know about it. And they should stop it. I thank you.
Excuse me. Inspector General of Police, with the greatest of respect, the allegation started at plenary. And the Speaker thought it wise that they should delve into the allegations. So we should be careful the manner in which we want to look at what is happening, lest it can even go to say that the Speaker was wrong. The Speaker should have, with the greatest respect, done his own homework very well and even adduce evidence before making the referral. So I crave your indulgence. It might not be palatable, but what I know, and most people know, that the so-called allegations were on the video, on the audio tape. You will call it allegations, fine. And those allegations had penetrated the realm called Ghana. It's gone viral. And some people have spoken to those matters. You are doing the same. If they cannot substantiate what they are saying, you are blessed. That's the end of the matter. But we've also been warned that we should be careful that we don't wash our dirty linen in public. So this is a very, strategic interrogation we are trying to do. Not that we didn't have a sense of doing a good job by saying that bring the substance of the matter first before we start the interrogation. Because what we had to start off with is the basic raw material, which is a video. What are we going to do about it? The audio, I'm sorry. So please, it's a sense of how you say it, but the sense of Parliament is different. Because if we are not careful, then you want to even indict the referral from the Speaker. The Speaker is not considering what we call substantive matters. You know, the Speaker is a conveyor belt of allegations. That will be the import if you push your argument too far. But let's leave it. But today, I'm sure everybody in Ghana will see that this committee has been very fair to the IGP. I have to tell you to your face. Because a window of opportunity was given to the IGP to state his position. We've not asked you for evidence, have we? We've not asked you to give us any evidence. They did the same. But the evidence, if any, will be in camera. So we don't know where we've gone wrong in this matter. But I am of the humble view that we'll give the devil his due. If there is no evidence, trust this committee to state it forcefully. that the individuals here, they were on a frolic of their own. The whole thing is actuated by malice. They do not have any evidential support to be part of our findings of fact. But how can we do the findings of fact if we don't now invite them? Would you be able to substantiate what is on the tape? This is what we are trying to do. Because the tape came first as the allegation, and we need the substance of the tape. And what can we do about it? Unless we call somebody.
Online TV production for na yamra na yeme dwumadi ne ne mfama kama fe a ebo no eda fom pa the production so the sound quality video quality ni nyina e wo soro wo pese wo hu ba bia wa ye wo Kumasi eyeti amedi a opposite one ma anase to nsa ne frɛ wa homa trufo so 0550623377 Kumasi online TV production ye demu fua e wo Kumasi kodua mu. Amafwe Kumasi online TV production yaba ne de ne yaba ye de equipment ekukudam ana ye de aba se eye camera de enam wiem de nam fom de enam ensuom ni nyina ye wo bi e wo honom a TV production yabo a hu ye pa se wo ye dwumadie bi etese wedding eye engagement and sorry ana schools se wo ye seminar bi na pese betwa ko all the social media networks no so e de amaw ye ni ntotonsa na fre eye Kumasi online TV production for na yamra na ye dwumadie ne
trust this committee that there's nothing that will do untoward. And if the evidence is in your favor, you have it. And your name will be hallowed. As for allegations, they can remain allegations. But if you can't prove it, you will say so. That X and Y couldn't prove it. If they can prove it, you will say so. That they proved it. So please, it's like that. I don't want to talk about mine. Allegations against me, I don't want to talk about it. Even concerning this meeting. Yeah. So please, let's have some patience and the truth will come out. You don't have to worry too much about it. Madam, do you have more issues raised?
Mr. Chairman, Honorable Chairman, I have a minor point.
You have a
minor point. Mr. Chairman, going back to where you ended and the process and whether there was a different way of structuring this process. This is taking us back to the point I made earlier. So there is a tape, video or audio, then testimonies of witnesses. The substantiation should have been done at the time that the testimonies were given. That's what has brought us to where we are. And the way it is going now, I'm beginning to get worried about the in-camera proceeding. And my proposition would be as follows: that the people who want to go and do their ex post facto substantiation.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. I crave your indulgence. Why are you trying to sort of impugn what you don't know? You don't know.
Honorable Chairman.
Oh, counsel, I crave your indulgence. You see how your client has behaved. He's taking it easy and he's going on a tangent. When I know his pain, I draw his attention that the truth will come out. But I would not want to say, sitting here, to talk about post facto what? Yes, it was us. Listen carefully. It was us, and the sense of what we got about the matter that we said, let's talk about whatever I want. Then we'll sit in camera and you bring your, what if, let me ask you this question. What if they started bringing the evidence in the open, which is so embarrassing and is so serious that it will undermine national security? There would have been, with the greatest of respect, if you like, the unreasonable men who said everything should come into the public space. That is no exercise of discretion. If you like, let me show you the authorities. What we are doing, there's an authority for it. And I know you are a very powerful lecturer, but let's look at, I think you've paid regard to the Supreme Court authority of Raphael Kubaji and versus Asari and others. Council, you know this authority? The Supreme Court.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, let me tell you what a principle that the Supreme Court enunciated. That's what we call substantial danger of unfair prejudice. There's something like that. That if we are not careful, some matters will bring about substantial danger of unfair prejudice. And also the Supreme Court said the one who is listening to evidence should have the power of what they call discretionary exclusionary rule. That is the point. So the referee or the judge should have the power of discretionary exclusionary rule. So you can use your discretion to exclude some things because of what you and I know could have national security implications. And you could use your discretion to permit some things. So even the Supreme Court allows that this is done. But in the final analysis, I do not know that you will be shortchanged. Because look at all the space we're giving the IGP. I mean, to also, put his case across. Do you want me to go into issues of evidence?
Honorable Chairman.
Please.
So, where I was going to end would have been as follows. Once we complete this public hearing, we would beg leave of the committee and leave and go home and let the committee meet whoever has evidence to substantiate whatever. Subsequently, share that evidence with us, we'll spend time to review it and invite us back.
Council, leave that to us. I've never seen somebody going to play a football match and, as a matter of fact, is trying to determine the scores. I know you are a lawyer of repute, but leave it to the committee and credit us with a modicum of honesty. 1, powers of discretion, and above all, common sense. Trust me, and I want to say so, and all the members here, Patrick Boama is not cheap. My brother and my vice chairman is not cheap. These are police officers. What will be the credit to us to mess up your client, the head of the police service, and by extension the entire service? All these matters, we've been educated about it. And we will tell you how we're going to run these matters. In fact, we need to also do serious consultations as well, because even in our meeting, I don't have to tell you everything, before we met you, some issues have come up. It's not got to do with any evidence. It's got to do with procedure, command structures, and how you treat the one in China. We will look at all these things. So please don't be apprehensive about anything. What you are going to get from this committee is that the IGP and any other witness will never be shortchanged by this committee. I want to state that forcefully, because people are calling me about it. I have to be very sensitive about what you are doing. There is nobody here that will use this platform to discredit. You won't do it. To counsel,
Chairman, thank you.
Well,
thank you.
Be rest assured. Leader, you want to leave here? Okay.
Chairman, let me thank you very much, and let me thank the committee for the work so far. And let me take the opportunity to let the police service know the police service is not on trial. And I was very clear in my mind when I stood up on the floor of Parliament to basically call on the Speaker. And the reason I did that was because I heard voices of professional police officers, supposedly, said things that were unbelievable, that I thought should not be said. And I said to myself that, is this true? If this is true and it permeates in the police service, we need to know and address it in the recommendations so that we can be sure that we have professional police service that will protect the interests of this country, especially when it comes to the stability of this country and our democracy, which is really renewed every 4 years in elections. And so, to the proud police officers that are dedicated and professionals, that are honest, that are doing the right thing, there's nothing to worry about. Precisely. And so I want to thank you. The police service is on trial. Good people of the police service are not on trial. People who are in the police service, who are turning it into a political football, are those who we want to fish out. And that's the mandate of this committee. Thank you.
Well said. Now, unknown to me, and in the background, is the Deputy Interior Minister, Honorable Nana Eyia. I'm sorry, we were hiding, so we didn't see you. Yes, as an MP, this is your rightful place. I'm sorry about it, yeah. Where is the Honorable Deputy Minister? Oh, please, why don't you come and take your rightful place? As a member of Parliament, you are okay here. But solidarity to the Inspector General of Police, or you came to observe proceedings? The IGP must be important, you know. Yes. I see. Good to know. You finish? Okay. Now, I will ask a few questions and then I won't go beyond it. And then I'll give space to my brother over here. And then I'll come to Vice if he has more things to say. Aji, I got the impression that when you are a senior police officer, you can be an ADC to anybody, and it doesn't matter who is in power. It seems to me that is your lot. Is that not so?
Honorable Chair, the most important thing is this. We are police officers who have sworn an oath to do the job of policing. And wherever you are assigned, you have no choice and you don't complain.
I got the impression you were with Professor, my lecturer in company law, one of the best lecturers I've met, of blessed memory, Professor John Evans Atamels. You know, when he was vice president, you were the AD camp, were you?
Honorable Chair, I think I've addressed this question a couple of times and did indicate that I was an ADC.
Good.
So,
yes, and I get the flow. I'm not confused at all. And also, you also helped now the National Security Minister as a special assistant. The same man.
Yes, I did.
And when he left the place, Honorable Kwame Nabatels came, also an MPP man, and then you were there to assist.
Yes, I did.
Okay, fine. Now, there is something very interesting, and it is that you have been dealing with the the former president, former President John Mahama, and you've been I nearly said you've been flirting, no? You've been engaging consistently. Is there any truth in that? And what is the content of your engagement?
Honorable Chair, that is incorrect. Another set of allegations, just as it is, to make it look that I'm a policeman who is doing politics. I am not. I'm a professional police officer, and I don't do such things. So it is falsehood. Unless maybe they have something to prove that. But it is falsehood. It's not true. It's not true. So they should stop it. They can use any other means to get any other thing that they want, but not lying about me in a serious manner. I thank you.
Is there anything wrong?
Honorable Chair.
Let me finish. Is there anything wrong for an Inspector General of Police to be talking to the opposition leader? Is there anything wrong?
Honorable Chair, the position of Inspector General of Police, and by extension every police officer, is to serve the good people of this country, of which the former president is one of those. And there is nothing wrong with that. But there is a distinction between something that has happened and something that has not happened, and people want to create it in order to make their case look good, so as to for them to get what they want, because they know that type of information sells, and that is shameful.
Do you visit ex-president Dramani Mahama? Do you visit him?
Honorable Chair, I don't visit His Excellency the Vice and the former president. I don't.
Does he visit you?
Honorable Chair, Chairman, the former president does not visit me.
Will you rebuff his visits, and why?
Honorable Chair, like I said, I am a professional police officer. We are servants of the people, including His Excellency the former president. And in my earlier submission, I did say, even including a child of a week old, as long as there is a service from policing point of view to be provided, whoever is involved, I have a constitutional duty and responsibility to get it done. And that is what it is.
Good. There is would I be right to say that, I mean, in terms of rank, you are a subordinate of the IGP? Okay, fine. There is a member of parliament here, and he's a member of the committee, and you're subordinate. And he says that he has some questions for you. I've told him that you should be careful that all the rules about the command structure and service inquiry and police council, you shouldn't write a book this afternoon. So please, honorable member, before you is your superior.
Honorable Chair. Sorry.
Yes.
No, I'm not. You described my colleague as he's a retired superintendent of police.
Oh, okay.
He left the service honorably, and so now there are no strings attached whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
If you put him in that pigeonhole, you know, you're mentioning service inquiry, and so it means that he could actually become the subject of an inquiry if he doesn't comport himself well in the presence of the IGP. We need to clear the air that my colleague is a retired officer, just as Honorable Ophelia is. She is also a retired police woman. She is no longer subject to the discipline of the service.
Okay.
So we need to highlight some of these things so that we are guided.
I can see the IGP's lawyer is laughing now because he knows that if these people were serving police officers, they wouldn't be sitting here. I forgive your trespasses. I forgive your trespasses. So, Honorable, the IG is before you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. I think that the Ghana Police Service is very proud to have members coming from that angle sitting in Parliament, because there are some technical issues that anytime we find ourselves in committees like this, we provide some level of expertise. And that is why even the chairman himself is confused. He thinks that having served as a police officer before, if I sit as a member of Parliament and the Inspector General of Police is before me to ask questions, I will be a bit intimidated because he used to be my boss. That is not the case. What is the case is that the IGP is happy to find some of his sons in other jurisdictions doing fantastically well and still making the police proud wherever we find ourselves. Mr. Chairman, I want to take the opportunity to let the IGP know, as you've said it and I need to re-echo, the Ghana Police Service is not on trial.
Very good.
No. Yes. The Inspector General of Police is not an accused person. No. What we are doing, strictly according to our mandate, is to ensure, the bigger picture is that we should ensure that we have a better Ghana Police Service. A police service that is professional, a police service that respects the laws of this country, and a police service that can work well for us to go and sleep well. So if you head that institution, anytime we find you, we'll revere you, praying that you appreciate the fact that you are appointed to discharge a particular function. And in this broad country where you have your role to play, it is our prayer that you do it well, such that one day when you retire, as your colleagues are all gone, I work with Mr. Paul Tawiakoe, I've worked with Mr. Ahmed Al-Hassan, I have worked with Mr. David Asante-Apietu. So just be aware that one day you will also be gone. But when you are gone, what will be your legacy? The question. IG, all these things we are talking about is all about your leadership style and what is your vision? So my first question is, what is your vision as Inspector General of Ghana Police Service?
Honorable Chair, thank you very much. The first point I have to make is that even though it has been handled, even if my colleagues were to be in the service, they will still have the privilege of asking me questions and asking them, because I have a listening ear. And I keep telling my colleagues here, and they keep even teasing me with it. Because I tell them, God knows why He gave us, each one of us, 2 years and 1 month. From that analysis philosophically, I think God wants us to listen more and talk half of the time of the listening. That is why the ratio is 2:1. You listen twice, you speak once. That is my understanding. So the police I lead, I work it out in such a way that my colleagues and I, as we tour the country, engaging the police people across the country, something I've done about 92% with all my colleagues, and then engaging the personnel and the communities.
Sorry, Chairman. Sorry, Aji. You know, I won't allow you to take a whole of the time because I want you to go and rest. But you answer my question. What is the vision of the IGP? Straight, just simple. Because there are questions that will follow. I just want you to state the vision, then we'll go ahead. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, allow me to finish. I was about landing. so that I'm not cut halfway. And also, I will plead with you in order to ensure that I flow appropriately. I'm very measured in terms of the answers I give, and you have failed it. I know when to end it. So the important point is that this engagement gives me the privilege to hear more and work with our colleagues to use it to improve it. And even that, as I speak to you, is a part of the vision that I came onto the position with. But that vision has to be in tandem with the vision of the police service. And that is my vision. My personal vision is my commitment to work in concert with my leaders, my officers at the national level, at the regional level, at the divisional level, at the district level, at the station level, to turn the corner in terms of policing in this country. And like I said, to make the police the best institution in the country and a reference point for Africa and beyond. And this also sits well with the broad vision of the police service, which is to become a world-class police service capable of delivering a planned, democratic, protective, and peaceful services up to the standard of international best practice. So when we get to the standard of international best practice, then definitely there's every indication that we become a best institution that people can use us as a reference point when they want to set standards. So that is what it is. I thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. IG, on your appointment, you were seen by many as the constable's IGP, the sergeant's IGP. In other words, the other ranks IGP. Because you've been a constable before. You've been a sergeant before. You were seen as the senior police officer's IGP because you've traveled from ASP to where you are now. You were seen as the academics IGP. You hold a PhD. You were seen as a professional. And in fact, many of the professionals see you as one of them. And they believe that if you fail, you will not be forgiven. You had promotion speedily. In less than 7 years, you moved from constable to superintendent. And that was academic. I am referring you to regulation, the Police Service Regulation 2012. If I read Regulation 37.7, it says, that's here 76. An officer who attains higher academic qualification is not entitled to promotion by reason only of that academic qualification. IG, this is the lacuna in this instrument from 2012 up to date. It's more than 10 years. People have gone to school, they've completed. But the law says you cannot be promoted by virtue of just having that academic certificate alone. Having benefited from academic promotions yourself, do you think it is time to look at this provision again?
Honorable Chair, this provision, like Honorable Member did refer to, has been in existence since 2012, and if I'm not mistaken, October of that year. And it has been something that has been implemented since then by all successive police administrations. And the Ghana Police Service under my watch now is ensuring compliance of that law. So our hands are tied when it comes to people who have gone to school and they are coming and they are asking for promotion. And it didn't start on the watch of this current administration. It is 11 years or more ago. And this is something that has been implemented. But unfortunately, it is being circulated around and making it feel that as if the current administration that I lead, we have denied people their promotion because they have gone to school. And then it has become difficult for me to speak to it because after they have petitioned the police council asking for some sort of mercy in terms of this promotion. And while the police council was considering the matter, they took it to court. So it's not something that is the creation of the current administration. It is 11 or something years old, and the people involved know it. But they present the matter out there and make it look like it is the current administration which has come to invent something to deny their promotion. That is not a good thing, that you allow your selfish interest to overshadow the reputation of an institution and an individual and a team leading it now. So in terms of the attempt to change it, Honorable Chair, the law is as it is. We cannot involve ourselves as an administration in illegality as those who came before us did not involve themselves in that illegality. So if there is anything to be done about it, that would be the suggestion you are looking at. Because I am a believer of education, not for the purposes of getting a paper qualification, but a mental qualification of knowledge, and not just having the knowledge stored in your head, but the knowledge being applied. Because this is only then knowledge become power. It's not its accumulation with that application. So, Honorable Chair, until the matter is determined in court, it will be difficult for me to speak to the possible amendment or otherwise of that regulation. I thank you.
IG, I think the question is seeking to elicit an opinion from you, looking at the way the provision is couched, you know, and so we are aware that some officers have sued, but nevertheless, you know, such an opinion would not be prejudicial to what is before the court, because this committee, if you look at the terms of reference, we have also been tasked to make recommendations which possibly could lead to legislative reform. Yeah. And so that is, I think, what the Honorable Peter had in mind. We are not dragging you into the pending litigation where you could be cited for or contempt. In any case, you are privileged because you are before Parliament. Whatever happens here, I mean, nobody can take you out and cite you for contempt for speaking to a committee of Parliament. Because you are the one who implements this particular regulation. So if it is no longer fit for purpose, I mean, you could share your thoughts with us and then we can be guided as a committee. I mean, it's very important, this particular provision.
Yes. Do you want to make an intervention?
No.
No.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I was just worried about the pending case.
Yes. In fact, I was going to respectfully invite the IGP to do a paper if he doesn't have confidence in this regulation, and then we will know how the minister will have to do the necessary amendments. So that's what it is. I don't want him to dilate on the entire thing, but the legal department is coming together. You can do a paper that, look, this is very inimical to, I mean, the progress of others in the service or otherwise. So please, let's leave it as it is, but I agree with council that we should leave it as it is. And if there is any paper, you can share it with the committee and then we look at it. Council, are you winding up?
Honorable Chair, if I may.
Honorable Chair, I'm done. Once you have agreed with me.
Honorable Chair, if I may say something slightly on that matter, because I was going to end a component in respect, I was going to add a little thing in respect of that question, because my brother did refer to the privilege I had benefiting from that. But the most important thing is that I'll be the last person, and in fact, the very last person to deprive anybody of his promotion. I can't even think of that. My colleagues who work with us in the context of the appointment and promotion board cannot even think of that. We work as a team. So we want it to be on record. And thank you.
So, Inspector General of Police, be good enough to give us a paper relative to the regulation 37.7, and then we'll make it part of our recommendations. Officer and Member of Parliament, are you winding up, or you have a long way to go?
Chairman, thank you very much. I just started, but you know what you did to me? Basically, what he did was make sure that I'm the last person to speak. So many of the questions will be gone, and they're actually gone. So don't worry, I will soon finish. Inspector General of Police, you and I know that when you go on parade and they say stand at ease, it is a leadership drill that is being taught even at that basic level. As you open your legs wide, one leg is on the police public, your other leg is on the general public. And when you stand well, you are relaxed. That is why we say you are at ease. At any material time that the police public is not happy or the general public is not happy, you find yourself wobbling. Commissioner Mensah says, in his opinion, you are the worst IGP in his 31-year-old career. That is his opinion. And he cited things like even assessing crime statistics these days by the public is difficult. Police public relations officers across the regions have all been shut up. They don't speak again. You are here with us, and it's an opportunity. For me, I think there's an opportunity for you to tell Ghanaians. If this assessment from Commissioner Mensah is wrong, as you alluded to initially, and you mentioned a lot of things that you are doing, I've also just mentioned two things that he also mentioned. In doing the balancing act, what will be your comment regarding public relations activities and accessibility to information from the police by the public? Thank you.
Honorable Chair, thank you. Honorable Chair, listening to the Honorable Member, I picked three of them, and maybe one is in one container. Two are in one container, and the other is in a different container. The first one, you were talking about the police community. And I can assure you, the police community is at peace with itself. Let me say this, Honorable Chair, as leaders and by godly natural design, you can't have everybody liking you. And even it will not happen that everybody will like you. Let's be very analytical on this matter. As somebody who believes in tradition and culture because of my multi-ethnic background as a Ghanaian, everywhere you want to install a chief or a busuapeni, not everybody will agree on a candidate. Yet, at the end of the day, we get a candidate, and the rest who may not like that candidate, the leader and the leadership have to find a way of pulling everybody together. Even if you want to be very divine, let's go to the religious field, where God Almighty superintend in terms of who should be his rep in this world in connecting to us as his creation. Even in there, when a leader of a church is being appointed, they go through a process where some people may choose somebody and then others also may choose. But at the end of the day, the one who marshals the maximum number is become. And not everybody did that for him. And Honorable Chair, permit me to use your individual self in terms of your constituency election to become members of parliament. Nobody voted and got 100% before coming here. And even in some cases, nobody even got 50%, especially when you have multiple candidates. So some people may be members of parliament with about 40% or thereabout, representing a constituency made up of 100% of people. That is what it is. So in the same context within the police service, as Inspector General of Police, working with my colleagues, we as a team, we can't get everybody appreciating what we do. But this is what we do differently. Because we have what I call mindfulness mindset. We are aware of this and we try to get everybody along, in respect of whether the person likes or does not. And I've demonstrated it. These are my brothers. In spite of all what is happening, at the break, I walk through them. We have the chat. Means getting along. We may have differences, but that should not stop us from working together. So this is what we've done, pulling everybody together and having majority, a very substantial majority of the police community being so happy and falling in love with us because we won their hearts and minds in terms of what we do. And I give you about 3 of them. First, and I started this when I was the Director General Welfare. I toured almost everywhere in the country, visiting police people who are indisposed and they are in their homes. Some years, nobody has visited them. And it gave me an understanding of the suffering of some police people when they are becoming disposed and everybody has forgotten about them. So through that, we work on mechanisms and brought them to the picture and provided them with all the support that they need. It's something that I have continued when I became the Inspector General of Police. Everywhere across the country that I have been to, the 92 or thereabout %, going to every village, every town, every city across the country, I touch base and visit all police people who are indisposed. And after that, we work towards making sure that they get the needed help. That led to the even establishment of the Police Emergency Medical Intervention Fund. That can take every police officer to everywhere in the country and be provided with support. These are some of the soft touches, soft things that we do beyond all the broad things, including not denying everybody promotion and having a listening ear. But 2 more of those soft things. Anytime, anybody, and mostly at the highest level, need to be reassigned, I call them personally. Some of them, after we have discussed at POMAP, and we think that this person should go here and go there, at times we put it even across for POMAP to look and suggest names that will go to places. And I call them personally to check and plead with them based on my regimental diplomacy, so that they can go and function there, so that they go with a very positive and encouraged mindset, so that at the end of the day, where those people have issues, maybe my child is preparing for BC, maybe I just moved my family from this place and my wife or somebody is involved in something, we consider it. And when we consider that, we stop it, and then alternative officer to handle that. Again, every police officer, including all my colleagues at the very top, brother, sister, is how I introduce them. And then, speaking to them, please, thank you, regimental diplomacy. And finally, another sort of, until recently that I've reduced it. Every day across the country, I pick one police officer in each region celebrating his birthday or her birthday, and I call to wish the person a happy birthday. All in the quest of bringing everybody on board, especially the limited number who naturally, by natural law, will not be with you, so that they also feel comfortable and belong. Imagine you are there in your district or station and receive a call, and IGP said, today is your birthday, and I want to wish you a happy birthday. There have been 2 instances that I have been in a region, Nicodemously organized for a cake, and walk to a police station and handing over the cake to the person, and then becomes a party there and then. So we know that not everybody will like us, but we have a way of making sure that everybody feel belong. And we've done that with my colleagues as a team and getting to that. Now coming to the other issue of the Public Affairs Department. Honorable Chair, it is something we have discussed at POMAP, agree upon a strategy for redefining our engagement with the public in a manner that sits well with international best practice. You have had a system where you get up in the morning, everybody across the country, across at times district, division, and regional level, granting interviews on matters of police from a perspective that at times not informed by the full facts. And at the end of it all, when the facts come, the organization look unpresentable, and you keep dampening the spirit of the organization and continue to smear the image of the service in bad light. So we agreed at POMAP that we need to redefine it as part of our transformation agenda, such that at the end of the day, before you speak to a matter, be sure that you have the full facts, so that gradually we will create a system where something happened and the whole community, the whole people will say that until the police have come out, we don't believe what is being said. Rather than having a system where everybody is talking, would have truth, and putting the police in bad light because people think that it's coming from the police. Police management with regional commanders meetings were held, and all the PROs were brought, and they deliberated on this, and we all saw that this is good for the organization. Then the question that came, then how do we do things and inform the public timely so that there won't be any gap? Then we said that we will not sit down for things to happen on Friday and we behave as if we are not a security institution. We said that it is in the weekend, so we will inform the public the next day, the next Monday. But we know, from my little understanding of media and information space, it's like a chair. Whoever walks in first sits on it. And you cannot come and sit on top of him or her. By that time, the public might have been informed or misinformed based on that information. So we need to have a very efficient way of getting information there as soon as possible. That is why you see that in recent times, information from police across all our media space are delivered on matters as soon as we have the full facts that will inform the public to continue to deepen their trust, confidence, and respect for us. We do that irrespective of the time of the day. You can have us seen coming out with information in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, in the night, at dawn. And at times when you release information at dawn, then you hear the next day people saying, these people, don't they sleep? Because we love what we do, and we are committed doing it. So we are living international best practice. And this has redefined the way we go about pushing half-truth there and using that to dampen the spirit of the organization. And finally, we have even gone to the extent of ensuring that when that information is out there, there is no way it becomes something that people cannot rely on. So, Honorable Chair, there is nothing that we are doing that is not informed by our strategy to transform and become the best institution in the country and reference point for the world. And by way of example, internationally and nationally, we are also learning from other institutions the way they conduct their public affairs. So the international standards we are looking for is both national in character and an international also in character or design. So we are very focused in working together as a team and with the public and with all stakeholders, including Parliament, to ensure that we have the best police service in Africa and beyond. I thank you.
Please, let me just. Okay.
Yes. The gentleman over here has covenanted with me to ask just one more question, and I come to Vice, because we are about to conclude today's proceedings. So, Honorable, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I have one question, and then I will just make it very brief. It is in two parts, A and B. The A is just requiring you to say yes or no. The A is requiring you to just say yes or no. IG, has Chief Buguru Nabu ever lobbied for you to become or to be appointed Inspector General of Police? Just yes or no.
Honorable Chair, the fundamental point is this. I have been in the service for all this long. By the grace of God.
Aji, I crave your kind indulgence. Your man is saying just answer yes or no. Was he part of the lobbying team to get you, appointed as the IG? Yes or no?
Honorable Chair.
Yes.
The answer is no.
IG, you should count yourself very lucky that you found a parliamentary committee telling you that this document here, CI-76, should be reviewed. I'm sure if you wanted to review it and you wanted to get parliamentarians to listen to you, you go through a lot of frustration. So this is free counseling. The last question. You and I know that if a police regional commander reports to you that a particular district commander doesn't have the capacity to become a district commander, and he wants you to transfer him or her, the question you'll be asking is, where should I send him or her to? What have you done about the incapacity or incompetence of such an officer? You have a responsibility to recommend capacity building for such an officer so that the person will be updated for use. You can't abandon an officer and the government will be paying such a person at your level. If you find an assistant commissioner, a chief superintendent of police, probably 6-7 years in his rank, not being promoted by virtue of the fact that the person's competence level is questionable. IGP, two options: abandon to rot, or spend money to build capacity and promote and use. Which one will be your choice? Thank you.
Honorable Chair, the most important thing is that it's something that we have found a way of deliberating upon it since I came on board as the head of the organization. And my colleagues and I, we've not been able to agree, and knowing the point I've made here, that I've always been a team player. And once we've not have a solid consensus, that has been the bane of the issue. But I can assure you, it's a deep reflection for us, and we are going to look at it and work with God's speed and get that thing handled in a manner that everybody will feel at peace. I thank you.
Now, Vice Chair.
This question may not sound palatable to the ears of the political class, but nevertheless I would ask, with your kind permission, Chairman, IGP, it has been said here that you are in the habit of arresting politicians for traffic infractions. An example was given to the effect that a second vice chairman of a political party was arrested by they said you. What is your reaction to this? Do you have applied your laws in a targeted manner with the aim to fishing out politicians and dealing with them, so to speak? I need your reaction to this because it's very important, you know.
Honorable Chair, the most important thing is this. I am the Inspector General of Police. I work in concert with my officers at POMAB and all other commanders across the country. As we sit here, people have been arrested in accordance with law. I am not the one doing the arrest. So I have not personally arrested anybody by being discriminatory. It's just that police officers are out there doing their work of enforcing the law. And then they are not doing it on my instructions. They are doing it in accordance with the laws of the country which have been passed by Parliament. So this is exactly what they are doing out there. And we understand the discomfort that such arrests by these officers happen. And I pray and wish that as a country we'll get to a point where our compliance with law will be such that those arrests will not even arise. Because, Honorable Chair, you agree with me. When my colleagues and I had opportunity with this privilege, and once again, with appreciation to Mr. President for appointing me as the Inspector General of Police, in our quest to transform, we saw that indiscipline on our roads were getting to a point of no return. And the number of accidents and the associated death or injuries leading to amputation of legs and hands and other parts of the body was becoming something unthinkable. So we decided to work in a way that will send the right message to everybody that let us come back to our Ghanaianness of being disciplined for the sake of the lives of everybody. So the arrest of people is so unpleasant to the leadership of the police service, especially when they're involved in people occupying important positions in society. Not to say that anybody is above the law in a way, But to make the point that we wanted as a team and as an institution responsible for the work that they are doing, to encourage everybody to be in compliance. And the level that the thing has gotten to, we needed to come out with something that will send a message, which as we speak, it has been sent. Now look at the sanity on our roads. Look at the number of lives being saved. And let's go to the hospitals and find out the reduction in amputation of legs, hands, and other parts of people's body because somebody is being disciplined on the road. And as I keep saying, if you have had patience enough to be in our mother's womb for 9 months before birth, you should be patient enough to wait for 2 minutes or less for a traffic light to come green. Or be patient enough to knowing that I'm traveling and I need to catch my flight, and the flight is say at 2 o'clock, to finish everything and get to the port before that, than to be in hurry and then be in the middle or some other places impeding the free flow of traffic. The questions that we normally ask. So touch wood. Supposing whilst you were going, you knock somebody down, what will you do? Will you still continue the journey or you will stop? So putting all this together, we were mindful of what it is that needs to be done in order to regain the consciousness of the people so as to save life. And the final thing in relation to that is the arrest of motorbikes under one of the initiatives that my colleagues and I have put in place called Operation Parry, Police Action Against Rider Indiscipline. We looked at it and we said that riders crossing red light, left, right, center, driving on pavement and all that is also another bigger problem. But we cannot apply the same methodology for dealing with the vehicles to the riders. Because these riders, that is the riding he or she does, mostly he, for his livelihood. And at times, even the value of the motorbike that they are using is at times less than 1,000 Ghana cedis, or maximum some 2,000, 3,000. And they do this indiscipline, and you arrest such a driver, such a rider, and you send him or her to court, and the court found him or her guilty, and say that you are supposed to pay a fine of say about 1,000. Even if he sells the motorbike, he won't be able to raise the money. So we've been circumspect, and we don't send those people to court. We rather get them arrested, educate them, and then release them, and keep the education going. And out of that, we even established rider ambassador, police riders ambassador, to continue to engage these people, so that together we bring discipline on our roads in our communities. And this has led to the reduction that we have out there, and that led to the situation for a long time having riders average of about 90%. We are still on there. We haven't got it to 100% yet. Stopping at traffic light and waiting for the green to signal before they move on. I thank you.
So, yes, Vice will ask his last question, and then we bring proceedings to a close.
Oh, thank you, Chairman, for granting me the opportunity to, but I've exhausted my questions. I have exhausted my questions.
Right. So. I want to read to the benefit of the witnesses before this committee. And I want to call attention to bear on Article 103(6) of the Constitution. A committee appointed under this article shall have the powers, rights, and privileges of the High Court or a justice of the High Court at a trial for A, enforcing the attendance of witnesses and examining them on oath, affirmation or otherwise, compelling the production of documents and C, issuing a commission or request to examine witnesses abroad. We had an issue with Bugri Nabu, who said because of issues of chieftaincy, National House of Chiefs meeting, he couldn't show up today. And we oblige him that he should come tomorrow. So tomorrow is a sitting of this committee. We are also asking the Minister for National Security to appear tomorrow. So, Inspector General of Police, I know you are a very busy man. Tomorrow, come with your 2 lawyers as we continue proceedings. When we meet, you have a sense of where we are going with this matter. But all that will happen will relate to, first of all, the audio, which it is being said is doctored, and then the second audio that is being said captures the comprehensiveness of the meeting in Chief Bugri Nabu's office. So, Council, I read, the Constitution not for the benefit of the IGP, but for your benefit, because of where you were treading. And we will see how it pans out tomorrow. But if the IGP could say some of your senior officers, should remain at post, so they don't all come over, it could be good. So that they will be attending to businesses in the police headquarters. But we've seen them and respect their coming. Yeah. Yeah?
Your member from Etiwa.
Yes. Yes.
He says Kwame is a political mentor.
We have in our midst also one of the decent ladies who glorify womanhood in the political arena. She's a Deputy Minister for Finance, Honorable Abna Asari. You have some association with the Lawyer Kwame Jano. What is it?
With both of them. They are all from Etiwa, and that's why I'm here today. Yes. Lawyer Kwame Jan and the IGP.
I didn't know this, I didn't know. It's a fact. He's never told me.
Man is from Mwoso, Akrofu, Mwoso.
I've never done that. I've never investigated the IGP. As to where it comes from, I've never attempted that.
Chairman, and yet you are the attacher of Chebi.
Yes. Yes, but the 2 people are all my subjects, this gentleman and then Abna, but she's not giving me the largesse of her office. And I leave it to God. So, Aji, this is how tomorrow's proceedings are going to begin. Bugri Nabu will be here. You should come. I think by this medium he's hearing my voice. You come with his lawyers of consequence. The witnesses should come back tomorrow with their lawyers. The Inspector General of Police should come with his lawyers. The Minister for National Security should show up with his lawyers, and the proceedings will continue. I was glad when I heard IG saying that in relation to arresting politicians with vehicles and they are in a rush, there is also arrest of individuals using motorbikes. But the police establishment exercises discretion in the manner in which they apply the sanctions. The politicians go and pay the huge fines, and then the dispatch, the motor people are educated. You see, I think it's a very fair and reasonable way of human engagement. So tomorrow I will exercise a similar discretion. Yes, and on this note, oh, okay, yes, Honorable Honorable Nogbe Ernest from Ashiaman, you are most welcome. You are most welcome. We thank you for. It's 10 a.m. in the forenoon, and we hope to see all the individuals here, and then we proceed. We appreciate your coming, and in the absence of any other matter, Aji, you want to say a word? Yeah.
Yes, Honorable Chair. By way of my concluding remark, because I know after you have spoken, I won't have the opportunity to speak. Having said that, I want first of all to thank you and the members of the committee for the invitation to come and to speak. I also would like to thank my family and Nkonya representing the Guams one for all the encouragement and the support. I also want to thank the church of my birth and my upbringing, the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, for their prayers and support across the country. And again, I want to thank the church of my baptism and fellowship, the Church of Pentecost, from chairman himself to the least person, for their continual prayer support towards me. And more importantly, I want to thank Mr. President for his continual repose in trust in me and the support he gives me. And finally, I want to thank the good people of Ghana, for their words of encouragement, their support, and everything. In the context of thanking the good people of Ghana, I want also to thank the thousands of police officers across the country for the excellent job that they are doing, and the many sending me letters of encouragement, words of encouragement, phone calls, and everything. And I assure them that I will continue doing my best in that capacity, in service of God and in country. I thank you very much, sir.
Well, it's good you came, and God permitting, tomorrow we'll continue the proceedings. On that note, the proceedings are hereby adjourned to tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the forenoon. And on that note as well, the head of Ghana's police service and all the witnesses are discharged. Thank you very much.
Amafwe Kumasi Online TV Production. Yaba ne de ne yaba. Yedi equipment ekukudam ane yedi aba. Se eye camera de enem wim, de nam fom, de enem insume. Ni nyina ye wo bi e wo honom. TV production yabo e huye pa. Se wo ye dwumadie bi ete se wedding, eye engagement. And sorry ana schools. Se wo ye seminar bi na pese betwa ko all the social media networks and so and the amount. Yeni ntotonsa na fre eye Kumasi Online TV Production for. Na yamra ne ye dwumadie ne mfama kama fe a ebo no eda fom pa. The production so the sound quality, video quality ni nyina e wo soro. Wo pese wo hu ba bi e wa ye wo Kumasi eye tia media opposite one ma. Ana se tonsa ne fre wa homa true so 0550623377 Kumasi Online TV Production. Yedemufua ewo Kumasi kodua mu.